we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm not really changing my diet. You know, I'm trying to eat 2 meals a day now and not just one. Which is a pretty big difference. How far into this grind are you? I have, I'm closing in on 9,000. So I'm almost halfway done. Give me like maybe like 20 more minutes of this and then I'll record the video. That's enough for mounts only? Yeah, I know. You eat 1 time a day? Yeah. Well, like maybe a little bit of snacks other than that. You have to keep starting veggies. The way I usually do things is I do them my own way until I hit a wall, and then I realize, like, oh, this is why people do it this other way. Like, I like learning things myself that way. That way I feel like I really understand them. Hire a personal chef. I mean, I've thought about getting a girlfriend for a while. We'll see what happens though. It's a lot of work. Okay, great. You think I'm gonna catch her a fish? Fuck that. We're going to McDonald's. Catch her a fish fillet. Here comes a twit longer. The thing is, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are always like hooking up with girls all the time and they never get twit longered because they treat girls like people. And they just never have problems like some of these other people do. It's just crazy, isn't it? Oh, no way, yeah, imagine that. It's like you get, some guy gets a twit longer and then like there's fucking 6 more that come out within a day about the same guy. It's like, Who is surely the yeah, it's fucking women these days, man. They expect too much. Smart person learns from the mistakes of others while you commit to something, you know it's bad. Because I want to see how much my own personal progress will get with my own current diet to see if I'm satisfied with it or if I want to go even farther with it. That's why. How long have I been farming? About 10 hours. Just do tic-tac dance and eat hot chip. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's everything, but you do you? Yeah, I'll learn that soon enough. I know what you're saying, it's just I wanna figure it out for myself. It's the same as like, you ever have like a boss fight where like, you're like, let's see what standing in this does. It's like, oh, okay. So didn't you really need to see my diet to see change? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard really for me to say. I can say that like whenever I started doing it like a little bit over a week ago, maybe like almost 2 weeks ago now, it was actually kind of hard for me to lift the 30-pound weights, and like now I can do it and it's no problem. So, I mean, I've seen some change, so that's good. It's like many years ago, I was the most athletic person that I knew. It was not even close. But that was many years ago. You I knew S-Fan? Well, if I did, I wouldn't be the most athletic person I knew. S-Fan actually was an athlete. It sucks to see people calling him fat and stuff like that. It's kind of shitty to see that. You drink any beer? No, I don't. This one's more a powerlifter? Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like, what I'm really saying is, like, his degree of being out of shape is not really more than a skinny person's degree of being out of shape. It's just a different kind of shape. Does that make sense? This is really taking a while, huh? It's a real cock in the ass. Keep it up, guys. You're doing great. Really proud of you. You sometimes feel uncomfortable at TK events? I feel uncomfortable at events, period. I'm not a social person. It's hard for me to go out and do social things. This is really taking a while, man. Where's the fucking... Oh my god. I wish these drop faster. I'm not gonna lie, like, I'm gonna be kind of salty whenever Blizzard buffs this. Or buffs the drop rates or changes it, makes it like way easier to farm. I will be kind of salty about it. I'm waiting for the buff. Yeah, like Are you contracted to a certain amount of OTK events? No, I'm an owner of the org. Like, no. We have actually like a lot of like really big things planned for the org, and so I'm pretty excited to share them. We have a date, but I don't think it's public yet. So whenever that happens, you guys will know. But I'm gonna tell you guys, like, the next thing that we, I think it's the next event that we're doing is like, we're announcing something that's like really big. And I think a lot of people will like it. We'll see. OTK Casino, there it is, boys. Bigger than Game Show? It's hard to really say like what's bigger or what's not as big. I don't know, like it's what's yeah, I mean I think you guys will just have to wait and see. We haven't really talked about like kind of how we're gonna announce it or anything like that. Or announce the announcement, so I'm not gonna go out on a limb here. So Spirit Times of trash and boring. I don't know. I mean, I feel like the We Play stuff, like if you didn't like that and you didn't like the, you know, Soda joining the org, like, I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, not everybody's gonna like our kind of content, but if that's what you don't, if you don't like that, then I feel like nothing that we're gonna do you're gonna like. You know what I mean? I was gonna join no matter what I felt, just a matter of when. Yes. Oh. Is Shroud an actual owner or just a meme? It's a meme. Shroud's not actually an owner of OTK. Mm. Oh damn, this is just what a grind, man. What an amazing, what a good game. What a good design of a good game. This sucks. Yeah, true. It's grinds for protoform synthesis, yeah. Good thing you put video. Well, I don't really mind the long grinds, to be honest with you. It doesn't stress me out nearly as much as people might think. It's awful content in the milk grind. Yep, that's right. It sure is. I know it's awful. Fuck, man, when's it gonna happen? You know what, the more I think about it, the worse it's gonna be. I just need to not think about it. So anyway, fuck, like, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, I want to do a video about, is like about the, fucking, the LFR drama. Like wanting the game to be an LFR and everything like that. More of LFR. I think LFR sucks. You mean the mount drama? Yeah, yeah, the mount drama. You literally can kill Anduin LFR without moving to the lowest item wall to get in. The thing with LFR is that it doesn't actually... Like, you can be AFK and clear the raid in LFR as long as people don't kick you out. And there are protections for people that are really, really bad in the game. And I dislike the idea that people should be protected for getting kicked out. Because I think what that ends up doing is it just makes people feel safe to just slack off and AFK. And I just think it creates a really toxic atmosphere for players. Because they get protected by this kind of stuff, and it's just like, oh, well, you know, since it's okay for me to do this, I'll just keep doing it. It's walkthrough mode, bro. Yeah, but the problem is, like, you have I'm okay with it being a walkthrough mode, but the problem that I have is whenever people are signing up to walk other players through it, I think it creates a certain amount of, like, entitlement and resentment and laziness, too. It rewards him for bad. Yeah, it just creates a lot of bad social dynamics that I think are unhealthy for an MMO. LFR should be bot assigned with no drops. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Can I see him as a celebration, not an achievement? I think it would be better if it was an actual achievement, personally. Easy to drag someone through, gotcha. Yeah, it is. LFRs actually hurt the game more for better. Tons of AFKing. It's good for people to see content they wouldn't otherwise. Yeah, and the thing is, like, in other games, like, you have less people in the group. So it's harder for, like, a player to just kind of AFK their whole way through. Because they get noticed more easily. What's an LFR for old content? I mean, I don't really... The thing is that... I think Blizzard should empower players and give people more tools to do what LFR provides. So, like, one of the things that LFR provides is it provides an instant summon for every single player into the group. Into the raid instantaneously. You guys might not really think of that, but, like, it's true. Like, you don't get that in normal mode. You have to coordinate, like, summoning logistics in normal mode. In LFR, you don't have that. So you have a lot of these, like, advantages that LFR provides that players don't really think of in a lot of cases. And so there's another example is that if you have somebody leave, LFR automatically fills players. And also, like, it scales the raid, too. I guess normal and heroic do that now, too, to be fair. So, like, that happens, and then also it, what do you call it? It's very easy, so you don't have as many wipes, and... Like, I actually don't think that players have problems wiping. I think they have problems with wiping and then having a lot of time spent between that and the next pull. Because whenever I do Final Fantasy, I played Final Fantasy like a lot off stream too. And I've never seen somebody leave a raid whenever it went badly. People would just stick around until they got it right. Like, nobody would leave. Even in, like, I would queue, like, extreme extreme content in like A Realm Reborn, nobody would ever leave. And it's the same with Lost Ark too, yeah. Like, I remember we were wiping on like Phase 1 Vaulton, or Gate 1 Vaulton on hard mode for like 40 minutes. Nobody left the raid. Like, if that was WoW, people would have left after the first wipe. And one of the big reasons why is that there's not like a huge amount of time that you have to spend between wipe 1 and pull 2. Does happen in Savage? Oh, I'm not saying it never happens. I'm saying that it's a lot less. Wait until you do Savage? Well, I don't think that's a very good comparison, is it? To compare Savage content versus normal mode content in WoW. Like, Savage content is undeniably harder. Replaying Lost Ark takes less than 10 seconds. Exactly, and that's why it's good. About downtime in the next Q&A? Yeah. I think that the problem is that like Blizzard views it as, because players have the ability to minimize the downtime by playing differently, then it's the player's fault if there's downtime. But what I'm saying is that, like, why is this even a fail state to begin with? Like, why even make this an element of difficulty at all? I don't see the reason for it. Blizzard's obsessed with content being beaten too quickly. I agree with you. A lot of people expect you to know everything and be super geared up too. I don't really think that's true. I think that there's a lot of people in WoW who just want to play with somebody who's good, and it's fine. What I think it really is I think that, again, this is like the entitlement atmosphere that people have. Like in Final Fantasy, for example, like you don't have this entitlement. Like if somebody comes into a clear raid and they don't know what they're doing, they're the ones that are wrong. And everybody just knows that because there's like an element of etiquette to it. But like in WoW, it's very common for people to fake achievements and to pretty much slack off and put in zero effort. And it's like, well, what a surprise that people don't want to play with somebody who's going to put in zero effort. It's the same with Lost Ark. Like if somebody, like every time in Lost Ark, whenever somebody's made a mistake on something, they will call themselves out and they'll say, I did this wrong, sorry. And I'm talking about like, you know, runs that I've done off stream, right? These aren't like viewers of mine or something like that. They're just like, hey, I did that wrong. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, I got it. All right, try not to do it again, right? Or I can do this. If you do it wrong again, we can time stop or whatever. And it's like, there are just like so many different points of like agitation that occur in WoW raiding. 100% Lost Ark players commit screw-ups. Well, of course it's not 100%, but it's my experience that that's more common in Lost Ark and Final Fantasy than it is in WoW. You changed definition of all. Are you upset with what I'm saying? Is that why you're trying to be like weird? Like what are you unhappy about? No, I'm being a smartass. Okay. Anyway, so that's basically the way that I feel about it, is that I think that in Final Fantasy and in Lost Ark, it's much more common for people to admit mistakes and, you know, not really care that much, because admitting the mistake, basically, like, don't you think it's easier for somebody to admit a mistake whenever it only wasted 2 minutes of people's time than 20 minutes? Because they're less worried about people getting angry at them? You see what I'm saying? So like the more punishment that you introduce into the game that makes it to where you feel worse for failing and it wastes more time, the more of that you add, the more people are going to the more people are going to try to skirt responsibility and play the blame game. People don't always know it's their fault. Well, in WoW, can you blame them whenever the mechanics are so hard to understand and so hard to see? It's also hard to get a rating group in WoW than Final Fantasy or Lost Ark. Well, it's like, why is that? One big reason is that for, you know, ever since, besides this recent patch, you could only play with half the player base. Then on top of that, you have to get 20 people. Versus in Lost Ark and Final Fantasy, you need 8. So that's a pretty big fucking difference. What's minimum for normal? Yeah, it scales down to 10 players. It does, but like also like with Lost Ark, for example, it's much easier to find raids because, well, I guess you do need supports. You don't need them, but you pretty much do need them. But like, you think about it like this: in Lost Ark, in an 8-man raid, there are 2 mandatory roles that you need, like a support for each group. But in WoW, there's at least 4 in the 10-man group: 2 tanks, 2 healers. So mythic rating like 1% or something, majority just need 10. Sure. Yeah. I think that's a good point. Ever since Transmog, WoW went downhill. I don't know why. I don't think Transmog had anything to do with WoW going downhill. Whereas 10-man rating locks a lot of the raid buffs needed to do well. Yeah, and you just shouldn't have that. It's like having, like, for example, each class, like in Lost Ark, for example, and I think Final Fantasy does this too, like each class does bring in a buff for the group. But the buffs are not so necessary that if you don't have one of them, the group is like dysfunctional. Whereas like in WoW, you have only certain groups, certain classes can battle res. So if you have a group without a battle res, you are at a massive fucking disadvantage. And on top of that, if you have a group without a warlock, you are at a massive fucking disadvantage. You're missing out on not only Hellstones, but also Gateway. That should not be the case. Battle Res should be on every healer. Yeah, I think so. Give it to every healer and druids. Gateway's situational as fuck. Well, if you say it's situational as fuck, like that kind of implies that like there are some situations where it's like just super important and some situations where it's not. You know, like comparing, you know, Terragru to Painsmith. Oh, Stark's way less min max because there's no DPS meters. Yeah, there's that too. Well, I think also, like, not only are there no DPS meters, but, like, I don't know about you guys, but, like, I've never wiped in Lost Ark to not having enough DPS. It's always because somebody does bad mechanics or somebody does something wrong. Every time. Felt the 10-man raid size was optimal combo going forward. I'd love if they had like 40-man raids again, but they just have to make the content pretty easy. I think really large raid sizes are cool. But I think that most people don't like that. I'm kind of like the minority there. Sounds good, doesn't work. Yeah, I can see that. Scale normal and heroic to 40. I don't see why they don't. I think it's probably like a tech limitation. Lasers are nice, it shouldn't be the only thing. I think that if you're talking about like really, really difficult content, like anything more than 20 people, I remember whenever you were doing like heroic 25 man, it was so annoying because there's always like 2 people in the raid that kind of sucked. And like this doesn't happen whenever you're in like a fucking S tier guild as much, but like the other fucking 99.9% of guilds, like they always have like 2 or 3 people that are slacking. That's testament to larger and easier raids being popular. Yeah, I mean look at Sunwell participation, holy fuck. People love that. And Sunwell was the hardest one. Swamp game. Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are gonna solve the content pretty fast though. Like there's a lot of like metas that came in like kind of inside of Classic, and people just started always doing this method. Probably one reason why Sun was so high is so few got to experience it back then. Well, I think Molten Core was even higher, and that was the first raid in Classic WoW. I think the reason why Sunwell is so high is because it gives really good gear and it's easy. And Moxie should be halted every time. Get good, baby. Well, I think that you want to have people get good, but it's about like making sure the punishment for not getting good is not unnecessary. This is highest first nostalgia bump. I mean, like, I don't know, like, it's like everything in Classic WoW can either function as first nostalgia bump or few people got to experience it. So it's like you can't really find an example where one of those two things wasn't present. Do you think Yogg Zero Light will be sold in Wrath of the Lich King Classic? Bro, we sold it in Wrath of the Lich King Vanilla. Indestructible sold it. Yeah, what do you mean? Like, I went to one of the carry raids. That shit was a joke whenever you got good gear. I remember, like, what happened was... So we did the raid, and, like, we got to Yogg Zero, and our guild master, his name was Ponytails, he fucking comes into Discord, and he wasn't in Discord at all, and he starts fucking yelling at everybody in the Discord because there was like a healer or something like that, and I forgot what it was, but people are being mean to her, like calling her fat or something like that. And he was like, listen, you guys think you're so fucking funny telling your jokes about this girl. Yeah, it's real fucking funny for me. Now I've got to find another healer because you're so fucking funny. And he just starts shitting on everybody in the raid. And he was yelling at people with nobody else talking, with like 30 people in Discord for fucking like 5 minutes. And there were like points of silence where people were quiet for like 20 seconds. He was like calling out individual people for like saying specific things, and oh my god, it was fucking funny. Because he was fucking annoyed because, like, you know, I think it was some girl in the guild was like in the guild and people are making fun of her, and like, so she quit the guild. And like, what does this mean for him? This means he has to do more work now, right? Like, now he had to, you know, he had to go out of his way to find somebody new because, like, you know, the funny guys in the guild thought it would be funny to, you know, say something about her. Drama llamas, yeah. Was it you? No. I wasn't even in the guild at that time. If I was in the guild, it probably would have been me, but no, it wasn't me. I remember one time, there's this guy, and so there's this girl in the guild, same guild, and she posted a picture of herself riding a horse, and she was fat, and a guy in the guild responded to the picture, and he said, "That poor horse." And I think this, like, I mean, I don't think this, like, specifically caused her to quit the guild, but it really didn't help. He's harvesting Genesis mods? Yep, I am. Can't I get out of the kitchen? No, the thing is, like, nobody wants to raid and get harassed. Like, it's one thing, like, I think it depends on, like, who it is and, like, your relationship with that person, right? Like, I'm not really one to, like, I you know, like, I never really complain about people making, like, certain kinds of jokes and stuff like that. Like, every once in a while I will if I feel like something's, like, really, like, out of pocket, right? Like, the Andrew Tate thing people said was a joke. I didn't think it was. But for the most part, like, I think people can make jokes about pretty much whatever they want with their friends, and it's up to them. Like, I'm not gonna micromanage somebody's personal life. Fuck that. They're gonna do what they want to do. But I think that, like, what happens is, like, you have people that make, quote, jokes like this with other people who they're not really close friends with, and it's much more you're laughing at the person and not with them. You know, with friends, not strangers. Yeah, or even acquaintances. Being void within a guild feels extra personal to some people. Well, the thing is, like, for example, there was, like, a guy in our guild that was, like, gay, and everybody would make jokes about him being gay, and he was fine with it. He'd make jokes about it. He didn't really give a shit. It was just like, this is just what people did, and it was fine. But then we had other people that, like, we obviously wouldn't do that with. So pick me? No, I just think it was just that kind of a guild. It was just a bunch of guys that played Burning Crusade together in 2007. I mean, as far as I mean, he quit the game eventually, and everybody was, like, always still friends with him, and people loved him. And it wasn't, I think it also, like, it wasn't mean-spirited too. That's, like, another thing, is, like, you can tell a lot of times whenever somebody's telling a joke about another person, like, if it's really meant to kind of, like, aha, yeah, it's funny, right? Or, like, really kind of shit on them. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can tell. And I wonder why people don't talk in raids. Well, I don't know. I mean, we've always had like crazy people and stuff like that, but I think most people know like where the line is. Not everybody, but you know, that's again why you have leadership. It's able to make sure that things like that don't go off the rails. Some best friendships when you can mess around and talk shit on each other. Yeah, I mean, I'm generally that mindset too, but I think it's again, it's the same as like people try to banter with streamers and like say stuff like that. It's like, you know, it's like you banter with somebody you know, and like don't be surprised whenever somebody that's never met you takes what you're saying the wrong way. Like they don't even know who you are. What if the leader doesn't know the line either? Well, it's up to your, at the end of the day, it's like, for example, like there are guilds that are really raunchy. They say all kinds of edgy shit all the time. And if you come into that guild and you're like, I don't like this, it makes me uncomfortable, maybe you should just get the fuck out of the guild. Because there's 20 people there that are totally fine with this culture, and you're the one with a problem. Maybe you're the problem. Like, you're not special that 20 people are going to change what they're doing because of you. It's like narcissism. Everything is, it's not social justice, it's like just it's not like an SJW thing. It's like you don't want to go and it's also like if you have a guild that's, you know, it's just like a bunch of guys and, you know, like nobody makes jokes like that. It's like, you know, a bunch of just kind of mild-mannered guys that just log on and play games together and maybe they work together. And then you come in there and you start telling a bunch of like really inappropriate jokes and just kind of like super like un-PC stuff, and like people are streaming and it makes them look bad and they have to mute you. Like now you're the problem. So like I think it's just in general a situation where people that go into a group of other people and then expect the group of other people to change and conform to them are wrong. Like I've always been a person that's like, you either fit in or get out. You do that, then you are the problem. Well, yeah, but like if you're doing it with a group of people that are okay with it and you're doing it to yourselves, like I'm not going to go around and tell people what they can and can't do, like in a private conversation by themselves. That's weird. I'm not going to call somebody a problem for that or bad for that or anything. It's like just like who the fuck do you think you are telling other people what they can and can't do public or privately? It's the same thing I think about like any of this stuff, right? It's like the same with like gay people or like other types of people that have like different proclivities or, you know, aversions to certain things. Like, bro, like what are you doing telling this person what they can and can't do with their life? Get the fuck away from them. Find a different group. Yeah, exactly. Same bad shit with black people. Once I found out I was black and find it funny I was kicked. Am I the problem? I would leave the guild, yeah. Yeah, I would get the fuck out of there. I mean, they're not... The thing is, like, if that's the case, I'd report them. And, like, if they've got chat logs for that, like, that's the issue. But, like, you're not gonna... Like, if you join a guild and there's 20 people that are racist, you're probably not gonna convince all of them to stop doing racist jokes. It's just not gonna happen. Like, I don't care, like, what you think is right or not right. I'm telling you, like, what's gonna happen. Watch out what you do and say privately if it's toxic and offensive on a certain level. Yeah, I'm not gonna tell people what they can and can't do privately. I'm just going to, like, aside from, like, conspiracy to murder people or something like that, or like something insane that's like already against the law, like I'm not gonna get into that. Now, there's things that I think are bad, right? Like, I'm gonna say, like, for example, like, constantly talking shit about people and, like, your group of friends is, like, I think that's, like, just in general kind of toxic. I don't like that. But, I'm not gonna go and tell people that they can't do that. It's just something that I don't like, and I don't like being around people that do that. With limits on this conformism, fitting in other isms because the majority doesn't. I think that you're talking about two separate things. Whenever I'm talking about, like, I'm giving, what I'm saying is, like, this is my advice for somebody. This isn't how I think the world should work. You understand? Like, I don't really care how the world should work because it never is going to work the way I think it should work. I'm talking about, like, this is my advice for a person looking to try to fit into a group. Yeah, like, there are a lot of things that are just, like, unfortunate realities. Like, if you leave something in your car and you leave your car unlocked, there's a good chance somebody is going to steal it. You should keep your car locked. Does that mean that you think stealing is okay, or do you think the person who left it unlocked is dumb? It's like, no, but this is just the way the world works, and, you know, you can't just go out into the world and expect everything to conform to what your idealized version of it is. San Francisco, better leave your car unlocked so they don't break your windows to get in. Oh, I never leave my car locked. If somebody breaks into my car, the best thing they can do, the worst they can do is clean it up. Yeah, I don't leave my car locked at all. Somebody steals my shit, like, it's whatever. Who cares? I have a 2001 Mustang. Okay, so it's like, if you're looking for a mark, that's not it. I used to know people that, like, would break into cars, and, like, one of the reasons, like, things that they would base it off of is if the car had lights on the mirrors. Like, if, like, there were lights on the mirrors of the car, it would be assumed that the car had, you know, people had more money, and so you make more money out of breaking into that car. Let me buy a new car. I don't have a problem with my car at all. I just got it fixed. Everything's fine with it. Yeah, like, I don't want a new car. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want a new car. That's all there is to it. Don't you want to drive something nicer and newer? No. I feel comfortable and good in my car, and I've driven this car ever since I was 16. Like, I learned how to drive in this car. No, this is the car that I like, and that's all there is to it. It's not going to make me feel good to have a more expensive car. I'm not bothered by the car at all. Newer cars have problems too. Eventually you have to get a new one? Yeah, eventually I will get a new car. It's just not something that I'm actively pursuing. How about a more reliable car? Honestly, in all of the years that I've had my car, not once has it broken down on me. Not once have I been like, oh, the car isn't turning on. Actually, that's not true. There was one time it didn't turn on, and I popped the hood, and the battery terminals look like I just fucking crushed 15 Skittles and pressed them on top of the terminals. And I'm like, guys, I think I was with my dad. I'm like, Pa, I think I know what the problem is. He's like, yep. And yeah, it's the battery. Yeah, that's not the car's fault. That's my fault. The car's officially a security blanket. Well, I do feel secure driving in the car because I do feel like it's extremely reliable. Forbidden candy, yeah. I wouldn't. There's part of me that kind of wanted to lick it, but nah, I didn't do that shit. Pour Coke on the terminals? No. Like you just get a knife. You can scratch it off with a knife, and then like a toothbrush. My dad actually got me for like Christmas or something. He got me like one of those tools that like it's got bristles, and you like just push it down on a terminal and turn it, and it cleans it real well. Like, you don't need to have, like, absolute... Yeah, it's just corrosion. It's not a big deal. Coke dissolves it? Yeah, I mean... I've never needed to do that. Like, just... From a, just, like, my perspective... Like, whenever I hear, like, putting liquid on a battery, on a car battery... Like, I'm not an expert in this kind of stuff, so, like, I hear that, and I'm like, there's, like, warning bells going off in my mind. Where it's like, I've already, you know, like, I've fixed this problem with the car now for, like, over 10 years. Like, my old car had this problem, too, so... It's not an issue. Battery has water inside it. Yeah, I know. I saw somebody rebuild a car battery once, and I learned that. But it's like... It's not that simple. It's got over 100,000 miles on it, yeah. Get a pilot's license? No, not really. What did you have done to the Mustang? I had to get new shocks. The front axle was fucked up. The brake pads were worn. That was the main stuff. I have a V6. Yeah, I mean, it's not like some badass car. It's just, you know, the car that I have. A pinch Coke will help. Well, I know, like, for me, what I always have done is, like, I've just scraped off all of the residue and corrosion around the battery, and then just gone in and I've turned on the car and it's worked just fine. I think one time I needed to get a jump for the car, but that was it. Some nice safety features though. Yeah, they sure do. Especially like the cameras on them. That's really useful. I'm almost gonna hit 10,000. How it rebuilt to its original look, clean the stuff out. Yeah, I know. I need to get probably the inside of it detailed again. Because, like, whenever I threw up all over the car, it was so hot that day it cooked a lot of the puke onto the car. And some of it's still on there. It's just kind of gross. Yeah, I had food poisoning and I was driving home on the highway and I had to pull over a few times and I just threw up on myself. Like over and over and over. And so by the time I got home, I had, you know, just got done driving home for like 30 minutes in the heat. And I was sick, obviously. So I didn't clean it up all the way then. I just got most of it off and then I went to lay down. I came out later on, it was like already cooked onto the car. That's rough, man, sorry. I survived. It means nothing. We got a car back? Yeah, car's fine. Car's great now, everything works just fine. You don't want a new car? Something more like dehydration or food poisoning? No, it was 100% food poisoning. It's like, you know, like whenever you get food poisoning and then you throw up for a while and you like lay down for a little bit and then you feel completely fine afterwards? Like by that night, I felt totally fine. I haven't vomited in years now. Yeah, I haven't either. Like, that's why it really kind of caught me by surprise. It was the first time I had thrown up, probably in 10 years. So you got AC in your car? Yeah, I do, but I don't have it parked under a garage. So it's like, if I'm driving somewhere, it's fucking hot, man. It's hot as a motherfucker, and that's all there is to it. You ate something weird, like a salad or something? Nope, I ate a pizza just like I always eat. Same pizza I've had 100 times. Upon inspection, whenever it was being thrown up, I did not chew my food very well. And I've been back to the same pizza place after that, and the pizza was fine. Check disc. Bro, that's disgusting, man. Like, what were you what are you doing? Ugh. Boys, we hit 10,000. 10,000 Genesis motes. Huge.
Does mayonnaise even boil, or is this stuff gonna burn? I think the mayonnaise is starting to separate back into eggs and oil. We'll put our filet mignon in before it's too late. There we go, down the hatch. I knew I was gonna be looking at something freaky today, but I had no idea this is what it was gonna be. It smells like egg and like olive oil. Soybean oil. All right, I think that's as boiled as that's gonna get.
I can't do that. I'll throw up again. Fucking disgusting. Yeah, I just got secondhand food poisoning. Genesis Moat Farm? Yeah. I'm debating right now if I want to do it on the camera or do it with the phone. I think I should do it. Yeah, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna talk to my dad. I call my dad, and then after that, I'll just do it. Give me a minute. I'm gonna mute. Y'all hear me? Yeah. All right. Give me a minute. Let me go ahead and get everything set up. Pull this over here. Get this. And just refresh everything. Sorry about the sound. I'll fix the sound in a minute. I was on the phone with my dad and I took a shit. So there's this. Okay. And I'm just gonna stick with this. Actually, I'll do this. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll just do it with my normal camera like I'd do any other video. Seems cleaner that way. Thanks a lot for coming and helping me out, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna move somewhere else so there's not any bullshit going around. So let me just get over here. Is that all of them? Yeah, it is. Not up, hopefully. There we go. I'm out. All right, and mute this. By mute, I mean turn it off. Okay, I'm just gonna go up to here. Okay, that's pretty much good. All right. Moving houses. Oh, that's a lot. All right, let's see if I can even get the camera to work. It's been a long time. Okay. Elden Ring DLC trailer out? No. That's a ban. Yeah. That's a ban. Alright. Let's see here. Now, where was I? Deserved. It's just annoying. Nobody likes that shit. Okay, Oh, he tried to save himself by saying psych? Yeah,